if we are able to, the saying, fill your cup, so that you can fill others. I really, really strongly believe in that. And that's why I think women, mothers should love themselves more so that they can give more to the people who need them, to the people who love them. So if we're happy, then that will just flow. It will flow out, onto our children. If we're satisfied, if we're fulfilled, if we have our own dreams and wishes realized, or hobbies, or whatever it is that makes us whole, that will naturally lead, it'll just flow onto our children and onto our husbands and our friends and our other family members as well.
First of all, this podcast and video is dedicated to every single mom, every parent, every mother-to-be who's not sure what they really want to do in life and how they can inspire people with their talent. I meet really cool people. So I'm going to introduce you to another. If you had to meet someone and they had to go, okay, so who are you? What would you tell them?
Ooh, wow. What I tell them? I am a young woman who is very, very, very passionate about finding out what it is that I am meant to do here on this earth. I have been on this journey of finding my purpose for quite a long time. And I am also an entrepreneur. I am a creative. And I am just passionate about making things, starting something from nothing. And I'm also a mama to two beautiful boys and a wife to an amazing husband. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I am a lot of things.
So tell me about the Whole Mama Show, the podcast, because this is like a podcast. Baby Brunch meets the Whole Mama Show.
Yes, it's a great collaboration here. Okay, so in a nutshell, the Whole Mama Show is what I call the untold stories of motherhood. So there's this story of motherhood, this narrative of motherhood that for centuries we've been told, we've been sharing, maybe on the surface, but deep down as mothers, we know that there's so much that goes into motherhood, preparing for motherhood, being an actual mom, that I think traditionally we just haven't really been feeling safe to share some of the ups and downs, some of the challenges, especially when it comes to pregnancy and, becoming a mom for the first time. That's massive. And so I really wanted to dig deeper into what it is that makes up this whole story of motherhood, not just what we see in sort of traditional media. So that's what the Whole Mama Show is all about. Every week I interview a mama and ask her to share her most challenging time in motherhood in hopes of giving other women inspiration to find some healing in themselves. So we talk about a lot of things, and it's raw and it's real. It gets emotional, but it's another side of motherhood that I think is just as valid as what we are used to seeing.
What led you to want to influence people? How did you decide I'm going to take my Instagram and my Facebook and make it beautiful and support people?
Okay, so I'm on YouTube as well, by the way. I make videos there on YouTube. And so my journey in the beginning, to be honest, before I became a mom, was focusing on natural hair. So I am very well known by a lot of people as a natural hair blogger initially. And the biggest reason why I wanted to share my story and my journey in natural hair was because I wanted to discover my natural hair. So I wanted to document it in one place and just share it with people to say, hey, if you have hair like mine and you're also like struggling to find products and hair tools and things like that, come along this journey with me and let's figure this hair thing out together. And so that became like much bigger than I expected, and just such a great, amazing chapter in my life. And being able to see how I was inspiring other women and influencing them on my journey. And so then I became a mom in 2016. And very similarly, as I was pregnant, preparing for this journey of motherhood, I felt quite alone. in, my experience, because a lot of things weren't spoken about before pregnancy. I didn't really get much of a heads up as to the whole, the whole picture. So that inspired me now to share my story of motherhood. So very, very similarly with my natural hair, just so that maybe there will be a woman out there who's also feeling a bit sort of unsure about herself and not feeling very confident and, worried and scared about becoming a mom. And so it was just my way of saying, you know what, I've done this with natural hair. This is a new chapter in my life, and I want to share it as I'm going along with it as well. And so that's what made me really want to, the intention wasn't to influence necessarily. The intention was to inspire. And so obviously with inspiration came the influence. Yeah.
How did you know that your husband is the right dad for your children?
Oh, wow. How did I know? Well, I think for me, I definitely fell in love with him first. I fell in love with basically we're high school sweethearts. So we met and fell in love when we were kids. We were like 18 years old, since matric. And so I fell in love with that boy. I just, fell head over heels with him. And I just loved his humility. Until this day, I will always say that that's my favorite thing about my husband, a personality trait that I really, really admire. And then because we were together for a long time, I just got that feeling. I'm like, I want to have your babies. I want to have your kids. I think he's just such a great person. And I mean, we say this often, and it's the truth. He really is my favorite person. So the idea of creating a human who's like half me and half my favorite person, for me, it was just like, it's a no-brainer, so that's that's the reason. I think he's awesome. Yeah.
Why do you think moms should love themselves more?
Oh, how much time do you have, Ilana? It's, you know what? It goes back to the reason why I continue sharing my story and why I continue creating the content that I do. And it's to not necessarily say that the old way was wrong, but it's just a new way of mothering, of parenting, that I think that we should try and embrace. The idea of this, sort of martyr of a mother, I think has really put a lot of women in a very difficult position, putting everybody else first and her nowhere on the list. Whereas if we are able to, the saying, fill your cup, so that you can fill others. I really, really strongly believe in that. And that's why I think mothers should love themselves more so that they can give more to the people who need them, to the people who love them. So if we're happy, then that will just flow. It will flow out, onto our children. If we're satisfied, if we're fulfilled, if we have our own dreams and wishes realized, or hobbies, or whatever it is that makes us whole, that will naturally lead, it'll just flow onto our children and onto our husbands and our friends and our other family members as well. So I think that's why we should love ourselves more.
If there's a message that will come from you and someone wakes you up and you suddenly speak truth and you give them some motivation, what would it be?
First-time moms.
Yes.
Yeah. First-time moms, you will learn. You will get better. You just need to keep at it. And every day is a reset button. Don't worry if you had a bad day today. Tomorrow is a new day. Try again.
You are strong because
I am vulnerable and I share my heart, my feelings, my thoughts on my sleeve. That's what makes me strong.
Give me one secret for hair because at the moment, my daughter has decided that she's going to school with her hair untied. And she, for the first time in 3 years, is embracing her curls. I don't know, something happened. I know, I think she watched your blog or something, your video blog or something. So give us one bit of advice on our natural hair and rolling with it.
Just one. That's a lot. Okay. Okay, I can give you two. It's just because it's a lot. Okay, number one, moisturize. And by moisturize, I mean with water. Let's not be scared of water. That is a huge game changer. If you spray your daughter's hair, maybe every other day, I spray my kids' hair every single day. And the second thing is, once you put that water in, you need to seal that moisture with a light oil or a butter. You might need to play around a little bit with it to just make sure that the texture of the oil isn't too heavy for her curls. And that's how you keep her hair nice and bouncy and full of, like just beautiful moisturized curls. That's if I had to just pick two, those would be the two that I give you.
Can you put that in a bottle so that we can drink it? So that we can have that same feeling inside. Aisha, it's been a pleasure. You're amazing. Aisha OReilly. You can find her, Aisha in Life, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube, and here on babybrunch.co.za.